Today we met YaYa Marin Coleman, the chairperson of the UBAD Educational Foundation, protesting once more in front of the office of the Ministry of Education on North Front Street in Belize City. It marked the 287th day of UEF's Hear Law campaign, advocating for an end to discrimination based on a person's hair in schools and the workplace. She provided an update.
UEF look after the interests of African people racialized as black people primarily, but this would go for all people. When I calling WEB this morning, I shared that this past weekend I made the long south for a gathering of mostly black and brown women. And this particular hairstyle get a lot of attention, so people ask about it. So I'm going to talk to Christina Cock, and she say that for their son, in a standard 5 in a primary school in the Toledo district. I go to school with one long braid in the middle of the back, and now a form of resistance because that one of the things colonizers do with African people and indigenous people. One of the first thing they do, for broke your spirit and accept European values and norms that cut off your hair. And so anything I say indigenous people with that one braid, that one intentional sign of resistance, that this is who they are authentically. Similarly for when you say black people, the way their natural hair, the way African-inspired hairstyle, protected hairstyle, locks, bantu knots, it's your right as a Belizean. So denying people access to an education or to employment because of how they wear their hair. No, we have one responsible for hair be clean, but that's it. So the new update is that we had approached Human Rights Commissioner Belize. Then we worked with one case before as it comes to hair discrimination. And so that's not something women new to the Human Rights Commissioner Belize. We were looking for allies, and they agreed for sending one letter to the Belize National Teachers Union, BNTU, and the Belize Association of Principals of Secondary School, BAPS, for asking what the for them position on this particular national concern. And they also stressing in the letter, which I've shared with XTV, that they understand the importance of having healthy hair. But other than it's a hair rule, what the phone engagement with students, what are the reason for this hair discrimination? Human Rights Commissioner Belize never date the letters. I don't know when they sent it, but to my knowledge, they don't get a response back yet. And especially right now that teachers want to have them back, or then they say that they have for we back. I want to know if they got for we top as it relates to the students' their hair. And it's important to get the principals and the students' position on record.
Marin Coleman says students themselves are starting to realize that they are being discriminated against, that it is wrong.
And so not because something that one rule or one law make it just. So the enslavement of African people I mean one law. That still never make it to be unjust law. So we have to start to think for ourselves, decolonize our mind, and question things where we get from enslavers and colonizers and say, why we still use it? Like we whole government system. It wasn't designed for our liberation. For we judiciary system, for we educational system, it wasn't about melanated people. So this is our part, decolonization coming in a serious way, that the Belizean people, and I encourage parents for stand by on the students. Recently, in the past few months, we had some male students from ACC, and the students said, well, we here, I got to do it how we learn. Like this generation of young people are not like other generations. They have access to knowledge at their fingertips, and they're not all like always correct or age appropriate, but then they get a sense that this is wrong. Then I have the collective organizing powers yet to stand up as a collective, so I said to parents and guardians, government of Belize, management of schools, this is wrong. Remember in 2022, Angola changed their hair policy. In 2023, Trinidad and Tobago changed their hair policy. In 2024, Puerto Rico changed their hair law for students and employees in the public and private sector. So Tuesday, I think that'll be I think the 23rd, maybe next Tuesday, I'll walk from Ladyville to Belize City next Tuesday. So it'll keep me in a high vibrations.
Marin Coleman intends to write the new Minister of Education to continue her advocacy for a natural hair law to be introduced.